Hello guys, and welcome back to MonLabo Linux. So today we're going to be talking about Argo CD. So I gave that promise in a post, so today I'm going to keep that promise. Okay, so what is Argo CD? It is, I don't know if I'm going to say open source, because from their own website they did not put open source, so I'm going to keep it as is. So it is a declarative GitOps continuous delivery tool for Kubernetes. Not enough clue? Okay, let's continue. So when they say GitOps, it means whenever a developer pushes something to GitHub or GitLab or whatever. So GitOps, Argo CD will operate on it. Okay, so it will take your code and send that to the Kubernetes cluster. So now in terms of integration, so it can perfectly integrate with different tools like Customize, Helm chart, JSON files, plain directory of YAML, JSON manifest, or any other configuration management tool configured as a config management plugin, for example, HashiCorp. So in terms of features, so it has a lot of features. So I'm not gonna read everything here, but as you can see here, you can go through it and stop the recording and try to understand what is there. Okay. Now for components, we have, this is in terms of architecture. Okay. So in terms of architecture, we have the API server, the repository server, and the application server. So, and each of them play a crucial role into calling your application, into calling the repository, sending notifications, syncing, checking drift, having drift detection or whatever. So there are a lot of stuff that are there, or UI management, CLI, and everything. Okay, so in terms of API server, it exposes the API consumed by the web UI. Okay, CLI or and CI/CD system. It has the following responsibility. So in terms of responsibility for the API server, it has application management and status report, invoking application operation like sync, rollback, user-defined action, repository and cluster credential management, like for example store as KS secret, for example, authentication and auth delegation to external identity provider like OIDC or any other. RBAC enforcement, okay, listener and forwarder for Git webhook events. Repository server, so the repository server is the one that manages your code. Okay, so the repository server is an internal service which maintains a local cache of the Git repository, okay, that you connected to it, holding the application manifest. It is responsible for generating and returning the Kubernetes manifest when provided the following input. What are those input? For example, we have repository URL, revision of commit tag and branch, application path, template, specific settings like parameters, Helm values, application controller, okay, which is the last component. So the application controller continuously monitor your application that is running within the cluster to make sure that when your application has some kind of drift, okay, it compares the current live state against the desired state, okay, the desired target state from the cluster as specified in the repository. So what does it mean? It means that you define your code within your GitHub, for example, the way you want it, and then let's say, for example, the first time you did not deploy it, it's the first time you are deploying. Okay, when you deploy, it will detect that nothing is present in the cluster, and then it's going to pull your code and send that to the cluster. Okay, and now if you are deploying the second time, or maybe you add a new Kubernetes resource or maybe you change maybe a tiny thing somewhere, it will detect that there is a change that needs to be performed, and along the way it's going to bring your code, it's going to sync the your application with whatever is in the Git repository and what has to be on the Kubernetes side. So in this way, it detects out of sync. So we call that out of sync, okay, when it detects that there are changes that needs to be sent to the cluster. So it detects out of sync application state, and optionally takes corrective action. Optionally, because you are the one responsible for defining if it has to be automated sync or manual sync. Now it is also responsible for invoking any user-defined hooks for lifecycle event like pre-sync, sync, and post-sync. Now here we have a small thing here, okay? So here it's the thing. So let's say you are a developer, you push here, okay? So when you push your code to GitHub, okay? So Argo CD, which is also installed within your Kubernetes cluster, that's what makes it great, okay? As opposed to traditional tool like Jenkins, but I think Jenkins is also working its way to be better in that sense, okay? So it's sitting within your Kubernetes cluster and monitors your GitHub repository to detect any changes. Now let's say this is EKS, okay, another Kubernetes cluster, and it has to deploy there because it can deploy from within the same cluster or to another remote cluster. So if it detects that there are changes here, okay, so it's going to pull that and send that to your Kubernetes cluster if it detects that whatever you have in your GitHub repository and here are out of sync. Okay, now enough talking. Let's go ahead and implement it. All right. So the implementation is quite easy. On their website, it's really difficult to find out how to do that with Helm, but I was able to get this link, so that's why I just saved that there. All right. So what I will do, all right, I'm going to put that aside and open my terminal, and here I'm going to create a repository, a directory, okay, called maybe probably something. So we're going to call that so let's say I will call that Argo, okay, so I will call that Argo, and then I will hit enter, and I will move to Argo, okay, and then do and check if I have the Helm repository first. So I can do Helm repo list, and I can see that I don't have anything. So regarding Argo CD, so let me explain what we want to achieve first. We want to be able to take a Helm chart repository on a Helm chart on my GitHub repository and deploy it to a Kubernetes cluster, okay? So we want to do this. For example, my code will be here, and then we will instruct Argo CD that we will install on our own to deploy to the Kubernetes cluster in a specific namespace, okay? All right, so if we are together, that's good. So here I detect that I don't have anything as of now. All right, so let me first do code, and I will open this in okay, code dot, sorry. Okay, so I will open this into Visual Studio Code so that we can see everything happening all together. So here, let me keep this one for now like this. Okay, these are my Helm repository here. As you can see, I don't have anything yet, so I'm going to pull up the terminal. All right, let me put this one aside, for example, and I'm going to say I don't need you, man. Okay, and then I'm going to say Helm repo add, and I'm going to add that Argo repository from https://argo proj, okay, dot github.io, and I'm going to put the path, which is argo-helm, and I hope I did not make any mistake, and I'm going to type enter, and it says that it has been added. So if I refresh this, okay, I can see that here. So I can either come here to visualize whatever is available for Argo. Okay, I will see that there are a lot of stuff here. All right, and you can see I have Argo CI, Argo CD, and so many other Argo stuff. Okay, so so now we are going to do Helm dependency update. Okay, oops, no, not that day. Okay, Helm repo update. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so let's search for Helm for Argo. So Helm search repo, and then I'm going to say Argo CD. Okay, so Argo-CD. So that's how we write it. Okay, so it's going to say that, hey, here, all right, under this Argo that you just added, Argo repo. Okay, this one here. So it said that I'm here and my name is this one, and the chat version is this, and the version of the application itself for Argo is 3.2.1, and it says here a Helm chat for Argo CD and a declarative GitOps. All right, nice. So which means we are good to proceed. Now I'm going to do, I want to pull it. Okay, so I'm going to do Helm pull, and what do I want to do? I want to pull that from where? From Argo, from the repository, and it's called Argo-CD. Okay, and then I'm going to say when you download it, please untar it as well. Okay, like on archiving. So then let's see. All right, it is added here. Okay, and as you can see, it is a very gigantic file, so I will leave you the opportunity to explore it on your own. But as you can see here, it has most of those components that we were talking about: the application controller, the commit server, the repo server, notification, and other config, and so many stuff. For example, RBAC, service account, services, some custom resource definition. So there are so many, as you can see, there are so many. So I'm going to focus only on probably this one, the Helm-value. So on the Helm-value here, there are multiple ways you can install Argo CD. Okay, so you can install Argo CD as an HA, so high availability cluster, and you need at least 3 nodes for that. Okay, so you can activate it for OpenShift, for example, and if you don't want to install some custom resource definition, you can turn them off or whatever. So you can explore all this. And if you are not retrieving yourself, I'm going to when we are going to pull my code from the GitHub repository, I'm going to show you one part of my videos that I previously put there, and then we are going to and then you can go through that one and see how you can navigate with all those stuff, okay, with the Helm charts, because I explain everything perfectly very well over there. So now here you have some other stuff that you can put here, and it says here keep custom resource definition after uninstall. So I can probably, for myself right now, I can turn it off, and some domains if I have ingress, but I don't have ingress now, so I'm just going to leave everything as is, and yeah, and try to install it. So let's just install it. Okay, let's just install it. So let's open this, and we are going to say we need to create the namespace as well. Yeah, so that's the next thing, because to install it, it doesn't have any code, it doesn't have any Kubernetes definition, okay, to create a namespace. So you need to create a namespace for that. You can create any namespace you want, okay, but conventionally from their webpage, they use Argo, okay. So let's just say we are going to use the same thing, for example, but you can create any you want, okay, and call it anyhow. So I will say kubectl, okay, kubectl create, okay, namespace or namespace, and I will call that Argo CD, okay, and hit enter. It has been created. Now I'm going to say Helm install, okay, the Helm install, and I'm going to give a name for it. For example, you can call it Argo-demo, okay, and then, or you can call it Argo CD, okay. So I will say Argo CD-demo, and here I can put the namespace, okay, -n and Argo CD, okay, and then I can do what? Put --atomic to say, hey, if it fails, please remove the release, don't keep it, and -f of values, okay, where am I finding the values file, and from the current location just install it. Okay, it says no such file directory. Oh yeah, I understand, so I have to go inside whatever is there. All right, so I have to go to Argo CD. All right, so now if we do this, all right, so it's going to take some time to install, so I will retrieve you whenever it is done. Okay, still installing, and finally it is done. Okay, so we can see here that it says, hey, this is the name of your release, okay, which is Argo CD-demo. Let's deploy today at this time. Namespace is Argo CD, status is deploy, revision 1, and test suite is none, okay. And here note, in order to access the UI, so it's really important to take a look at this note. You can also find it somewhere, I believe here, but it's extremely important that you read through. So they say that in order to access the server UI, okay, because I'm not going to install the Argo CLI, okay, the Argo CD CLI, so I'm just going to keep it from the UI, and then we are going to visit it. So here they say in order to access the server UI, you have the following options. So for example, they ask you to create to port forward, for example, so that you can access the application. All right, so I can probably do something like this, and then here I'm going to paste that and hit enter. So it's going to take the service, okay, because there are so many components that were installed. So if you want, you can do Helm status. So you can do Helm status of the AI. And this this is what you are going to see, and you can say dash show dash resources if I'm not. Okay, so you can see all the resources here that it has installed. There are so many, so many. Yeah, so you can see we have some custom resource definition that he installed first. Okay, custom resource definition. We have cluster roles that he installed. We have role binding that he also installed. Okay, we have service, the service. Okay, so we have this different service, and he wants to expose a specific service, which is which one? So it's Argo CD demo server. Okay, so that's the one. So that's the one that he wants to, which is this one here. He wants to expose so that we can have access to the UI. And hold on, no, it's not that one, it's this one here. So service, all right. So and then it has port 443 that we are mapping to 8080. Okay, and you have other stuff that are related here, like ports. Okay, you have ports for some of those services, and stateful set, service account, like I was saying, secrets, config maps, cluster role binding, role, deployments. All right, and then you have this at the end. So if you initially clean your terminal, okay, for some reason, and you don't see the note anymore, you can just do this and it's going to bring you the note again. So as you can see here, we already did this one. All right, and then they say, and then open your browser. So we can open our browser. So let's see, which browser do I have open? So let me open this one here. Okay, so I'm opening it, and when you open, you will have this message. This is because we it is not really secure as it should be, so that's why we are having this. So if you were to check here, you will see that it's opening with SSS, with HTTPS. Okay, so but it is a self-signed certificate, so that's why it is complaining. So we are going to click on advanced, and then here we are going to, you can pay attention to this. Okay, the certificate is not trusted, but because it is self-signed. And here we are going to click here. All right, so we have the UI as you can see here, and now we have some initial configurations that we need to use here. So let me fold that, and here they say that and accept the certificate. Okay, that you should accept. We just did that. Now enable ingress here. I'm not going to do that now. Okay, so you can do that on your side if you want. Okay, after reaching the UI, the first time you can log in with username admin. Okay, and the random password generated during the installation. You can find the password by running this command here. So we know that we have admin, and we want to collect the name, the initial password. Okay, so this is the initial password that we have. Okay, and it's going to be random. It might not be the same for you. Please have yours, don't copy mine. So it may be a different one, and yeah, probably it's going to be a different one. So I'm just going to put admin here, and here I'm going to paste that password and click on sign in, and voila, we are here. But it's not done with the configuration yet at the lowest level of this demo. Okay, so we want to go ahead and finish with whatever they say here. So they say you should delete the initial secret. Okay, the initial secret afterwards, as suggested by the getting started guide right here. Okay, so let's click on that. Let's open it. Yes, open. Okay, so here they say that I did not install the Argo CLI. Okay, so we already did the login. All right, we got the initial password, we did the login already through the UI, and then we want to update the password, as they say here, change the password using the command. Okay, but we are using the CLI, so we are just going to go ahead and do that. So now I'm gonna go here and I will go to user info and update password, and I'm gonna paste whatever password was there into my clipboard, and then I'm gonna add a new one. Okay, so I will keep mine for myself. And I hope they match. I will click save. Okay, so they say your password has been successfully updated. Nice. All right. So now I'm gonna click here, and yep, it is trying to ask me to relog in. Okay, so I'm gonna click right here, put admin, and here I will put my newly created password. This way I will not have to remember about that random generated password. Now it's time to get rid of it. Okay. Okay, so if we want to get rid of it, why is it? We can just say secret delete, something like that, right? So we can just delete it. So I mean, you can go through here, okay, to get all the other stuff, but as you can see, I don't see that there, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this with show dash resources, and then it was the secret, and it was this one here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, take that guy, copy it, and say kubectl okay, delete. So let's put that, no, let's put this one, instead of decoding, we are just going to delete it. Yeah, it was this one, and then you're just going to say delete. Okay, so now I'm going to type this, and they say that it has been deleted. Okay, so that secret has been deleted. So now we are safe. Okay, till this point we are safe, but for some reason I did not see that here, so that's why I got a bit confused. All right, so no problem. So now it has been deleted. All right, so now let's go, and just to make sure that our application is still there, let's refresh after the deletion happened. Nice. Okay, all right, so now at this step we are quite okay. All right, when you work with Argo CD, it can go really complicated, but we will keep it at a low level. Okay, so we are going to add a new app here. So I'm going to click on create app. All right, now I'm going to call that how am I going to call that? Okay, let me call that MonLabo Linux. MonLabo Linux. Okay, and okay, I'm going to call that MonLabo Linux demo, and here the project name, just accept the default, don't put anything there. And for the sync, policy, I want to do that manually. Okay, set finalizer. I'm going to say auto create namespace. Okay, because I don't have the namespace yet that is going to create, so that I have created, so I'm going to ask it to do that. And then I will click here to say the application should apply only out of sync. And now here for the source, this is where I need my GitHub repository, so I'm going to type here and click on my name and come here. I will go to this one here, and then I will take custom Helm chart from scratch. Okay, so if you remember, we had this video in the past where I was showing you how to build custom Helm chart. Okay, and yeah, this is how it is organized right here. So here I'm just going to click here, all right, and say I want to take this one and go with HTTPS, don't take SSH. Okay, because SSH, because I have the key for myself. So I'm going to pass that here. Okay, yeah, so now it is going to ask me for the path. Okay, so on which branch do I have it, for example? So I have it on the head. Okay, head is just the main or the master branch that you may have, so whatever the default is here. Okay, so I'm going to take that. Okay, and now for the path, it detected that the path is MonLabo Linux on its own. Okay, so it's a video we did 3 months ago. So here you can see the same thing here. Okay, so it's MonLabo Linux. So I'm just going to say okay, thank you. You can also check here for other stuff. Okay, like tag, if you want to take tags instead. Okay, here you have Helm, OCI, and so many other stuff. But when I chose that, okay, it detected that I had a Helm chart, okay, into that repository, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. So now the destination URL. So this is where we say that Argo CD can deploy to other cluster if you have any, but for now we are going to keep the default. Okay, because when you have other option, you can choose whatever you want. So actually I'm going to take the Kubernetes default. Okay, so that will be the destination of my Kubernetes cluster. And then the namespace the namespace that I want it to create, for example, will be let's say US dev US-east 1-dev 01-mesh, for example. So let's say I want to create a namespace like this. Okay, and now here is asking me for the values file. So I have a values file, which is this one. Okay, and do I have any value here? So if I know what I want to override, I can put that there, but I will search, for example, for namespace. Okay, the namespace is this one here. All right, so I can override. That's what is good with it, because with Helm integrated with Argo, you can override the default value coming from your repository. Because I'm going to put that like as is. And for example, if I deploy on dev, I will probably have only one container, so or only one pod. So I'm probably going to put stage. Okay, and this will give me 4 containers, because that's something that I put into the Helm repository. So now if everything is okay, by typing create, it should be fine, but looks like something is going on here. So unable to create application spec for MonLabo Linux is invalid spec error. Unable to generate manifest in no description, fail to execute Helm template command, fail to get argument to get command argument to log Helm template dash name template. Okay, so all that to say what error release. Oh, okay, yeah, the release name is by mistake, so I'm gonna put so small and small d here. Okay, so we click here and now we are good. So now it detected that we have, for example, a config map. All right, we have a service, we have a deployment. Okay, so here I can click here to see what it is pointing to, for example, which is this one is opening. So it's going to show me the code here so that I can see what it is actually trying to deploy. Okay, so I can see that here, and I see there are a lot of stuff concerning Helm. All right, so now I will come back here. You can also click here, all right, to see what is out of sync, and it will show you the same thing. Okay, it will show you just the same thing. Okay, so now let me sync, and we have these default configurations, and I'm just going to say synchronize, and it's going to create 4 pods, and here I can group them, for example, to have a minimalized view. And as we can see, it's still doing some stuff. Let me refresh. Okay, so it looks like service is still going on, and here, for example, you can see that if I hover my mouse here over here, I will see that this is the author, okay, of the commit. I can see it was pushed 3 months ago, and with the message here, with the message, okay, the commit message. I can also click here to have all those details, okay, on those 3 dots. I can see all this, and now here when it is sync, okay, earlier it was out of sync, so when it is sync, you will see here that it says sync to, and then it will put the branch, okay, or the tag that it is pointing to, and here it will show you whatever is okay with the cluster, okay, because this is whatever is happening on the cluster side. So it means that this one is synced to the cluster and everything is okay. Okay, so now here you have the status bar, okay, where you can see different stuff. You can, for example, point to a specific resource here, okay, and here you can look at different kinds, okay, and right here you will see the sync status, okay. Actually you have 3 syncs, which are those here, and here we have one that's still in progress. We will see why. We have 2 healthy, so that one is not healthy yet, and it is a service, okay. So I can see that I have this manifest here, all right, and nice. So I have this, and I can see pretty much everything. Okay, it's a load balancer, all right. So something is that when Argo CD continue to spin like this, okay, and it's green, okay, it's kind of sync, it's green, but something is going on with the how you call that, with the sync status, okay. So what you want to do is go to the cluster side, for example. So I can come here, and what was the namespace again? kubectl get ls, okay. All right, it's Argo CD, all right, but it has created this namespace here 2 minutes ago, okay, 2 minutes ago, and we will say kubectl get all, for example, from that namespace, okay. You can see all the resources that he has deployed, okay, the pods, which are 4, the service as well, the deployment, the replica set, Okay, that's exactly the same thing it was showing through the UI. And then here we see that we have a load balancer and it says what? Pending. All right, so as it is pending, it means that we need to ask our good friend Minikube to do something. Okay, so here we just say Minikube tunnel, Minikube tunnel. For example, now if you say Minikube service list, so you will see that you have one here which corresponds to this guy because of the namespace. All right, and you can access it through this URL, but it's actually waiting for an external IP address, and it's still going to be this one. Okay, but it has to be exposed. So we will say Minikube Minikube tunnel. Oops, sorry, tunnel. Oops. I don't know if we can say dash URL. Oops, nope, it doesn't take that one. Let's start again. Okay. Dash C. Okay, so we can use dash C. Okay, so it's going to see if there were old tunnel and it's going to remove them. So I'm going to put my user password here, and as I can see, all right, I have this URL. Okay, and then I'm going to click on it, and it has opened that into the web browser. Wow. Okay, so this is the application we deploy and it is within Nginx. So now I propose to update this and see what Argo CD will do. Okay, so I'm going to pull my code, update that, and or maybe I can just come here and do that. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute, copy that, and then so actually I'm trying to modify the link to the video because as you can see here it is still current. Okay, current again, so I have to modify that and push, and then we are going to see whatever will happen. Okay, so let me do that really quick. Okay, I just finished with the modification. I'm going to push that now. Okay, so I may say update index.html with new YouTube channel content. Okay, so now I'm going to commit and push, hopefully, and we're gonna see what Argo will do here. Okay, once it detects that there is something, so I can click here, refresh, and immediately it sees that there is something that just got changed. And if we click here, we should see, okay, this is actually the config map, all right, from the video, and this is the old content here, okay, which is the actual one on the cluster, and here is the desired state, okay, which is this one right here. And now if I come here on the div, okay, and I'm going to compact that so that it shows me only what is different. So that's exactly what I changed. Okay, so if I was to come here and refresh this, okay, I pushed that immediately on the main branch. So, and 1 minute ago, so if I click here, I will see that, yeah, that's the change that I did, and Argo CD is actually checking and see that, hey, we have something that got changed, so let's try to deploy that again. Okay, so now I'm going to say sync, and sorry, it's not good to sync only one one stuff. Okay, so because if you click here and you say sync, you will see this message say warning, partial synchronization is not recorded in history. So always come here and click here if you don't intend to sync only one resource at the same time. And as I do that, immediately it's good. And here I can see that we have what is that? Yeah, we have the service that is not stable. And let's check here and see what is here. Okay, so something is that the parts are not updated. Okay, so the parts are not updated, so it means that we need a new deployment, and this is something that we have to do with we can either restart or maybe do that with something called canary deployment. Okay, so I'm going to click restart, and we can see that it is deploying, it is doing a rolling update. Okay, and now if I come here and do this, I can see that I have my new content here. Okay, and I can open that to the side and see that it is one of my videos. Okay, so guys, thank you for taking your whole time to stay and see all this demo and everything that I had to propose. So I'm just going to do some cleanups now and keep my cluster, okay, my Argo CD in place. Please maintain your password if you intend to do that. So on my case, I'm going to keep that, and we are going to have some other demos, okay, and yeah, and we will see what to do. So let me do the cleanup and then we are good to go. Okay, so I'm just going to first stop this guy here that's running. So okay, so I've stopped that one, and now I'm going to just stop this one too, okay, which is the UI, and then I'm going to clean up. Okay, so anyway, not clean up, I will just say miniq stop. Okay, and miniq is stopping. I can keep this one here if I want, or I can delete it. So miniq is stopping, and now we are good. So please, if you like this content, leave a comment, okay, to tell me how you appreciate this content or no. Share with your colleague, like, subscribe if you have not yet been part of this community. So see you next time. Bye bye.